it going, everybody? Yak Bass SoCal here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go fishing today. Today's Monday, November 13th. I planned on it, but ran a little long at work today, so I'm in my garage prepping for tomorrow's trip. And I'm going to be throwing some crankbaits tomorrow. For those of you guys that follow my Facebook or my Instagram, you guys see me pushing the Skirmish baits products a lot. And I just wanted to show you guys some of the differences that I talk about when ordering these baits, some of the options you guys have, some of the stuff I prefer here in San Diego compared to if you're in Northern California, for instance. So I'll get started on that right now. So the first bait that I'll show you guys is probably the bread and butter of Skirmish baits, in my opinion, is the M9 square bill crankbait. When you go on the site and you check out these M9s, they're on sale, by the way, right now, and you check these out. It gives you three options. You can get the rattling option. I'll show you an example of the rattle. Here's the rattle. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I'll do my best. That's the rattle, you know, your typical rattle. You find that rattle in a lot of other crankbaits, a lot of other companies. Not just crankbaits, but I mean, you hear that rattle in jerkbaits, lipless crankbaits. You know, pretty standard noise in putting a lot of lures these days, and that's because it works. Another option you'll get is the one knocker, which is something that the bass don't really hear as much as the rattle. Here's the one knocker. Real loud, in my opinion, gives off more of a vibration than the smaller rattles do, and just a different sound that the bass aren't used to hearing as much as the rattle. I fish the one knocker a lot actually out here when we get a little bit dirtier water. I know a lot of the lakes out here are really clear, but if the water gets turned up a little bit from rain or anything like that, or just real windy days and crashing against the muddy banks, I like to fish the one knocker. Probably prefer that over the rattle. And then my favorite one to throw, the last and third option, is the silent, which might surprise you guys a little bit. Obviously, not going to get any noise out of that. That being silent, now for the reason why I prefer silent over the one knocker or over the rattle is because here in San Diego we have very pressured lakes. A lot of bass fishermen on these lakes, and the big ones that you're after, they have seen and heard it all. You know, like I was saying earlier, with the ones that rattle, the M9s that rattle, think about how many baits you have in your tackle boxes at home that have that rattle. Which is why, in my opinion, I prefer the one knocker if I'm going to go with noise, because you don't hear the one knocker as much in lures. But with how many fishermen we have here on these lakes, you can only imagine how many times that fish has been caught by a lure that rattles. So that's why if I'm going to go for dirtier water, I'll go with the one knocker. And if I have my choice of all three, I will always choose silent here in San Diego. And again, that's because of the crystal clear water that we have. These bass are going to see it. You know, they don't really need to hear it to locate it. They're going to see it. And it's the most realistic of, you know, it's something that not a lot of bait companies have. So if you're throwing a crankbait, you're going to want to do something a little bit different. And not only are these the best painted crankbaits that you're ever going to find, giving you the silent option is going to help tremendously out here in San Diego. You know, showing the fish something that they haven't really seen. They're so used to hearing that rattle every single time a crankbait goes by. But if they see this, you know, really nice paint job, and it goes by them and there's no rattle at all. Man, sticky hooks on these two. I feel like, in my mind, you're going to pick up a bite more times than when you go throwing this same one that's got a rattle. Only because that fish has probably experienced a few hooks in his face with the rattle. It's gotten a little bit smarter, a little bit wiser, especially with the pressure we get out here. So in my opinion, San Diego, I'm going to pick silent before I pick any of the one knockers or the rattling. Skirmish baits, their paint jobs are the best I've ever seen. I really don't think you're going to find a better painted bait out there. This is what they call their gill fry. I don't know how good that's going to show up on camera because the light's real poor. But, I mean, the paint job on these is just amazing. Show you another one, the one knocker that I got, another bluegill color. I'll have the links to these M9s down below in the description. What I use to throw them, rod wise, line wise, and here is that other bluegill I was telling you guys about. And again, I don't know how good the light is right now. I'll have to see when I'm done filming this, but I mean, that color right there, that is just deadly. If you're looking for a bluegill imitation on a crankbait, show me something better than that, because I don't think you can. A lot of great colors, some of the best painted lures I've ever seen. So again, I'll have the website down below, and you guys check them out for yourselves. So that is the M9. These are going to run about 4 to 5 feet. They are 2.5 inches long. You know, typical size for your square bill crankbaits, run down to 4 feet. When I fish them, I like to fish them parallel with the bank. Fish them parallel, and I am just crashing them into anything. The square bill really helps deflect off of stumps and anything that could possibly cause you to get snagged. Now, I'm not saying you won't get snagged, but I mean, if you're not getting snagged, you're not throwing in the right places, in my opinion. So, you know, don't be afraid to beat them up. I mean, I throw them in 3 feet of water, and I just crank them down. I want them kicking up that mud, kicking up that dirt. Again, if I throw, you know, I like to throw the silent, so I like them to kick up the bottom a little bit. It helps the bass kind of locate them. I'm hitting stumps, I'm hitting any kind of cover that I think the bass are going to be in. Right now in this fall period, I'm looking for kind of those last patches of grass of, you know, before it all dies off and is gone. There's still a few patches of grass out here and there. That's what I'm looking for. Any kind of stumps, any kind of big rocks, boulders that are sticking out. That's where I'm fishing it. And again, I'm paralleling that shore. I want these fish, or I want these M9s to stay in the strike zone. And that's what you're looking for when you're throwing these M9s. So stay in that 4 to 8 feet range is what I like to do. I parallel in my NuCanoe Pursuit, just right parallel down the shore, and I pick them up. They work, and I'll start getting some videos. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have the camera running. We'll see. The reports are not looking good right now. Guys are trying to find them, so that's going to be the goal tomorrow, and that'll actually get me into my next bait, which is the A10A1 crevice critter. This is the newest bait that's been put on the Skirmish Baits website. This thing, let me grab it real quick. It's already tied on, so I'm gonna start with it tomorrow. It's got a, I don't know if you guys can see that. Hopefully, It's got a 2-inch body right here, 2 inches. With the bill, it's 3 inches. This thing, it's going to get down to 8 to 10 feet. Put this back. So that crevice critter is going to get down to 8 to 10 feet. I throw it on 12-pound line, and it gets down to 10 feet. It's also going to depend on your retrieve a little bit. I like a fast retrieve with that thing. It's got a bit of a tighter wobble than you know, the other competitors that have a similar body type. That crawdad color, you know, people see that blue on those crawdads, and if you're not a real experienced fisherman, or you've just never seen them before, it's hard to believe that crawdads have, you know, blue. Remember when I was younger, I'd see those paint jobs and it kind of confused me, because the only crawdads I've ever seen were red or orange or brown. But I'm gonna put a picture at the end of this video of a crawdad that I found at San Vicente. I can't remember the color or the name of that color offhand, but again, the descriptions and the links to these baits will be down below in the comments in the description section, so check them out. But it matches the hatch perfect. So once I found that crawdad, I tied that baby on, and that'll be on tomorrow. I'm not saying that I'm going to go fish at San Vicente, but San Vicente has crawdads that look like that, and I don't see why other lakes wouldn't have crawdads that look somewhat similar to that crawdad that I found. It matches the hatch real well. Kind of got the suspicion right now with this cooler weather that we've been having that the bass are going to be down a little bit deeper. That's why I tied on the A10, A1 crevice critter. I'm going to be searching, you know, in that 8 to 12 foot range tomorrow to start out. And then if I'm not picking anything up on that, I'll switch. I'll go to that M9 that I previously showed you guys, and we'll go to about the 4 to 5 foot. And if I cannot, you know, find fish off of ledges with the crevice critter, that's what I'll be looking for, those significant drop-offs. I'll try to fish it coming uphill tomorrow, so cast out into deeper water, and you know, kind of put my kayak up in shallower water, and I'll fish that bait uphill. If I'm not picking up anything coming up the hills, up the banks, I will switch, and then I'll see if I can start out casting shallow and then swimming it to deeper waters. You know, a lot of crankbait fishing is about angles and just trying to find them. So probably start out with that. The crevice critter's already tied on, it's ready to go, it's ready for war. If I can't find them, we'll go to the M9s, we'll search the 4 to 5 foot, I'll parallel some shores, we'll try to pick them up. These fish should be after shad. Right now, they should be feeding with the cooler weather that we're getting. Water temperatures are cooling. They're going to be looking to be feeding, getting ready for that winter and the spawning. That's the game plan out of the gate. If I do not pick up anything off the crevice critter or the M9, I'm going to switch over, throw another skirmish bait. Now, this may sound a little bit crazy to you guys that are watching from maybe outside of Southern California, but you could almost get a topwater bite in Southern California any month, just because of our weather. Tomorrow is what we call a cool day, and it's supposed to be 71 degrees. So I can still pick them up on topwater in the wintertime. Mid-November right now, if I can't get them in, you know, 12, 15 feet, go to the M9, can't get them in the 4 to 5 feet, I will throw topwater. And the one that I like to throw is the Mark 66 Maverick Walker. It's on skirmish baits as well. This thing is awesome. Again, paint job, painted by Dwayne Beatty. Guy's an artist. This thing is, it's got some size to it, but don't be afraid to throw it. You know, it's 5 1/8 inches long. It's 3/4 of an ounce, so it's got some weight. You can cast this thing a mile. I cast it a mile. I like to use it braid when I throw it, and it's your typical walk the dog bait. Walks real easy. I've got some other videos on my channel of me catching fish on this thing at Barrett, and that was this summer I was throwing it. Cover that top water. Looks, you know, I work it I'll work it slower tomorrow with the cooler water. It's got the blood. It looks like an injured bait fish up top. So maybe you can entice that bass. Work it a little bit slower. That's a free meal. If I can't get them on a slow retrieve, I'll rip it faster, and we'll see what we can get. So I'll be covering pretty much all the water columns tomorrow with Skirmish baits. Again, I'll put that Mark 66 Maverick Walker in the description below, so you guys can check those out. Some real good paint jobs on those, and you know, they walk. The effort to make those things walk is non-existent. You know, if you can twitch a rod, you can walk that thing, and I mean, it rips side to side. You can fish it fast, you can fish it slow. It works. So hopefully I can find, you know, what's going on with these fish, where they're at tomorrow. That's kind of the name of the game right now with this transition of this weather that we've been getting, and the you know, we kind of start fall later than everybody else. And technically we don't really have a winter, but if you call 65 degrees and sunny winter, then yeah, we have a winter here in San Diego. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Remember that all these baits will be in the description, all the links to the pages, and if you guys use my coupon code, it's BRAY10, BRAY10, you'll get 10% off. It'll help me out a lot. You know, I'd appreciate it if you guys are going to buy something on there that's on sale, which the M9s are right here. These are on sale. If you buy those, you can't use my code because it's only on non-sale items, but I would appreciate it if you guys put it in the comments that I sent you. Just write in, hey, you know, I watched Yak and Bass SoCal video on YouTube, and he led me here to buy one of the M9s. You know, in the comments, I'd really appreciate that. If you guys want any more information about Skirmish baits, just ask me in the comments below. You know, great company. I can't say anything bad about them. They're professional, you know, veteran owned, incredibly fast shipping. I get these baits to me in like 3 days, and they're from Arkansas. So I mean, the customer service is second to none. The paint jobs are second to none. The baits are second to none. I'm trying to spread the word to get these out here in California. I'm working on trying to get these in some shops. If you're watching this and you own a shop or you work in a shop in San Diego, get a hold of me. If you like what you see, get a hold of me. You will like what you see. I will bring baits to your shop. I'll let you fish these baits. Trust me, you will like them. They catch fish. Again, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Hit the subscribe button. Trying to get my subscribers up. Just kind of started this YouTube channel, so I'd appreciate that. If you don't like what you're seeing, let me know why. You know, maybe because I'm not fishing, I'm in my garage. Tomorrow should be the day, and I'll be heading out to Havasu soon to fish a tournament here in the next couple days on Thursday. So I'll get in more into that in another video. But I appreciate you guys watching, and have a good day. Thanks. Remember to hit that like, comment, whether you like it or you don't like it. Later, guys.